So continuing our Forbes series, last episode I decided to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo, his story. Today I'm going to be talking about Tom Brady, the man, the myth, the undisputed GOAT of football. Absolutely amazing. If you did not go watch last video, I'm going to put that in the description, you guys. I suggest you go watch that before you go watch this one. But, of course, before I get into this video about Tom Brady, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, of course, Tom Brady in his early life. That's really what I'm going to get to. First, Tom Brady grew up with parents who are of European descent, grew up in the San Francisco area, and he has been attending NFL football games for his entire life. I mean, the guy has loved football seemingly ever since he was born. He grew up a San Francisco 49ers fan, and ironically, being the GOAT of football right now, everybody says he was underrated coming into the draft. He was always the underdog. However, it kind of started off in Tom Brady's early football career like that. He was not even good enough to start on his JV team that didn't even win a single game the previous season. However, Tom Brady did manage to work very, very hard in high school, as, let's face it, he's done it all his career, so it's nothing new to him, and became a 4-star recruit. Ended up going into his high school Hall of Fame. His high school Hall of Fame includes Barry Bonds, Lynn Swann, Greg Jeffries, a ton of athletes like that. So as you guys know, Tom Brady, he still stands aside some of the best athletes in the world at the high school level and even at the NFL level once he decides to retire, which I'm guessing is coming. The guy decided to retire for maybe 4 weeks during the season. That's pretty famous. So Tom Brady, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. He might go somewhere, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, Tom Brady, he's been a beast for all these years. Now, of course, going into Tom Brady's early career, as you guys know, he was drafted with draft pick 199 in the 6th round. Did not start at all his first season in the NFL, He only made 1 Pro Bowl in his first 5 seasons of the NFL. So I'm guessing, after the first 5 seasons, everybody's talking about this guy's good, he's all right, but he's not going to be the GOAT of football. Well, let's just say Tom Brady ended up winning a Super Bowl in 2002, 2004, and 2005. One of those were back-to-back Super Bowls. However, in 2007 is when we really saw the explosion. Why Tom Brady did not win a Super Bowl this year? He went off for 50 touchdowns and an MVP season. The Patriots with 16-0 in the regular season, unfortunately lost to the Super Bowl and to New York. They lost to New York in the Super Bowl that season. Now, of course, after this 2007 season, Tom Brady went on to win 3 more rings. He now has 7 rings. He won Comeback Player of the Year in 2008. He's won 2 more MVPs after 2007. So Tom Brady, my boy, has definitely paved himself a very, very nice career. Now, of course, going to his season stats this year, I'm not really going to waste too much time on this part. However, Tom Brady this season, absolutely amazing. If you ask me, he should have easily been the MVP this year. However, Tom Brady, 5,316 yards, 43 touchdowns, 485 completions, all of those stats led the NFL. Now, of course, going to the notable awards for Tom Brady. Now, so notable awards, 15-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 7-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time AP MVP, a 5-time Super Bowl MVP. He's on the Hall of Fame 2000s and 2010s team. He was a Comeback Player of the Year, and he's a 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. Now, of course, going to the part where all my moguls are waiting. All my moguls, they're waiting to see how much Tom Brady. If you do not know, Tom Brady is the 9th highest paid athlete in the world this year. He made a total of $83.9 million in total. On the field, he made $31.9 million. As you guys know, 44 years old, ironically the oldest guy on this list, 44 years old, he is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. It's absolutely unprecedented to see. I absolutely love Tom Brady. I've been a fan of Tom Brady, and as a Falcons fan, of course, he has crushed my heart. He has crushed my soul. I've had my fair share of bad experiences watching Tom Brady. Trust and believe me on that one. But seeing him grow up as a champion, very, very inspiring story. Now, off the field, Tom Brady has been very, very lucrative. He has made $52 million off the field this season. Absolutely amazing if you ask me. I mean, Tom Brady, sheesh, what he's been able to do off the field is arguably more impressive than what he's been able to do on the field. Now, of course, as I already said, at 44 years old, Tom Brady is the oldest player on this list. Kind of ironic considering we did the youngest player on this list last video. Once again, go check that out if you haven't. However, it's important to note that Tom Brady, after his career, has been offered a whopping 10-year, $375 million contract to be an analyst for the NFL. 10 years. $375 million to do what I do. In a sense, Tom Brady was offered a 10-year, $375 million contract to do that. That is $37.5 million a year, which means Tom Brady will actually earn more being an analyst than he does in the NFL. Absolutely amazing. When he decides to retire, I'm guessing Tom Brady is going to run right to that deal. Now, of course, this season, I talked about it earlier, he famously retired, for about 4 to 6 weeks. Which, I know for a lot of fans, was a huge disappointment, because now everybody's like, oh my goodness, we have to deal with this dude once again. I mean, why can't this guy just go away? And as a Falcons fan, I kind of feel your pain, but secretly, I was hoping that Tom Brady didn't retire. I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, of course, going into the money, the moolah, what makes Tom Brady earn all this money, off the field? Now, of course, NFT platform, he founded and co-founded NFT platform and raised $170 million this year, part of his money and his makings off the field. He also co-founded a production company called Religions of Sports and has a content deal with Skydance and 199 Productions. Tom Brady's other production company is behind a Tom Brady movie that I'm guessing is going to come out later in the upcoming year. So that's definitely some interesting, very, very interesting background and very interesting information coming from Tom Brady's endorsements. These are all stuff that he usually owns and co-founds, and I find that very, very interesting. An owner is a very, very powerful position, especially for an athlete. When you own something, you are in a very, very huge position. When Tom Brady, I see him co-founding and owning all of these things. He has 2 production companies, one which he co-founded, one which I'm guessing is 100% his. Absolutely impressive. I'm really, really impressed with what Tom Brady has done off the field as he has done on the field. It's a very, very, very great story for any of my guys who are underdogs out there, for any of my guys who may be going to junior college, any of my guys who may not really be the starter on their high school team, may not be the superstar yet. You look at Tom Brady's story, man, he's made the best out of it. Guys, even in the NFL, who ironically may be watching this video, who were picked in the 7th, 6th, all those other rounds, guys who weren't superstars coming out of college. Well, I just want to let you know, and I want to take this opportunity to let you know that, hey, with Tom Brady, with this story, your opportunity is not over at all. Your opportunity, in my eyes, has just begun. So take what you will from that story. Take what you will from that inspiration of a story that Tom Brady has. And man, just really, really, really salute to Tom Brady. Absolute GOAT. There's a reason why people call him the GOAT of the NFL, but the more important thing to me, in my opinion, is his journey and getting there. And I think that's what needed to be taught on here today. But of course, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit. I would really, really appreciate it. But of course, most importantly, I wish that you stay loved and stay blessed. I wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to end this video. Next video, I don't know what it's quite going to be on, so you guys have to stay tuned. But of course, thank you for watching.